In June of 2006, the city of Binghamton, New York experienced a disaster of biblical proportions when the Susquehanna River exploded through its floodwalls following 3 relentless days of rain. Over 5,000 men, women, and children were displaced from their homes by the angry brown floodwater. Entire neighborhoods were destroyed beyond repair and condemned. Millions of dollars in damages were incurred by the already struggling city. Experts said it was a once-in-a-century catastrophe. But then, 5 years later, in September of 2011, just as the final flood victims had finished rebuilding their homes and their lives, the once-in-a-century catastrophe became a twice-in-a-century tragedy. The Susquehanna again raged over its walls, wreaking havoc far beyond what the first flood had, drowning completely the hope and progress the city had made since 2006. Thousands of people lost everything for a second time. The residents of Binghamton were broken. In the muddy wake of this second flood, 19-year-old Binghamton resident Julia Lucia decided to take action to transform the darkness that had enveloped the city. Swimming determinedly against the current of her natural shyness, Julia reached out to local charities, businesses, and her classmates at Binghamton University to create a clothing drive called Share What You Wear. Under Julia's direction, Share What You Wear collected and distributed close to 1,000 pieces of clothing to community members who no longer had even a sock to call their own. Thanks to Julia and her team's dedication, many were able to return to work and school, having replaced their lost wardrobes at no cost whatsoever. The Torah tells us that it is our obligation to clothe the naked and to provide for the downtrodden among us. In an hour of darkness, this young woman transcended her own nature to fulfill these divine dictates and bring light to her fellow man. How will you awaken your latent potential to transform the world? Will you don a fur coat and warm yourself, or light a fire and warm all those around you? Will you cultivate the garden, or allow the forest to grow untamed? The choice is always ours.